Hello and welcome to episode number 4 of the Chasing Greatness podcast. I'm joined by Phil Milner, Ben Collins, and a boxer with his belt wrapped around his shoulder by the looks of it.
Let's
Nobody,
just let's
quite
just make sure
frankly,
everyone knows what it is first.
nobody
It's that one.
cares. Nobody cares.
Nah, no one cares. No one
Everybody
cares.
stopped caring about the competition the minute the boxers open.
So what happened, Charlie? Come on,
Completely
what is it
irrelevant.
for?
Tell you this is from I called this as well on the last podcast. We all chose who we were going with, and I could have absolutely copped out and gone, "Oh, I think Mongi's Wild will win," but no, I stuck true to the big dog. He trapped, then he got led, and I thought it's all over. We're in trouble. And then I sort of didn't know what I was watching because obviously Cartoonist was in front. I'm looking where Mongi's Wild is. I completely forgot about Garthy Place as well. Didn't realise how close he was. They've come past me just after Garthy Blaze has clipped the rail. We're in front. They've crossed the line and we held on and we won. So Liam, it's been a good couple of weeks, Liam. And I'm not actually here to take the piss out of anything. I'm just happy to win the race, to be honest with you. But you did talk a big game, a very, very, very big game. So I actually commend you for coming on and showing your
Don't come
face.
here
Like
like
I
Mother
actually think
Teresa
you've
now.
been
I'm not
the
here to take the piss. Do you want to read the WhatsApp? Just because the people ain't got access to the WhatsApp, don't come here all like Mother Teresa. Oh, I'm not here to take the piss. I'm here to bring peace.
when
No,
I've
do
never
me a
taken the
favour.
piss. Oh,
Yeah.
hang on, what's going on here?
Uh, Surprised the trophy
I'm,
didn't accidentally fall into shot.
I'm holding the phone now, but just so this stays in shot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
To
mean?
be
Because that
fair,
would be a
to be
real
fair, Charlie, well done.
thank
Like,
you. I appreciate
Yeah.
and
that.
No.
seeing you
Congratulations.
buzzing on the WhatsApp group and still now buzzing on the WhatsApp group has been awesome. We all know what it takes to win a Cat One. It's huge, isn't it? And
Mhm.
you can see anybody can see what disco means to the kennel, especially your mum. Like
Yeah,
she is just buzzing about it. And your video that you put on, just everything. Like I thought it were a great race when it cartoonist took it up.
Yeah, it
There were
was lovely,
plenty had
mate.
chances,
Yeah, it was
but
blinding.
but the boy did it, and just well done. It's mega,
and
mega.
that's the thing. Like people, look, people rightly so said what they wanted to say about the dog. I can't disagree with the majority of what people said about him. But at the end of the day, now he's done what probably 99% of dogs can't do, and that's win a category one. So it
And is it two?
essentially
Is
now
it 2-1?
it's 2-1. Yeah,
All right, Philip, I
it
need
is.
you,
It
don't
is
I?
2-1.
God, I need you.
How much? Because you've only lost how many races has Mongi's Wild lost? Four
Oh,
or
in
three?
all seriousness, he got beat. Droopy's Flair beat him in the semi-final. He got beat. He's been beaten by Disco twice, and
Fabulous heck of
um,
beat.
yeah, 4 times. Yeah,
Yeah. Those, yeah. So like it's good for Disco's CV to, you know,
great for his stud
make
career.
yeah. Great for his stud career because technically he's the greatest of all time right now. You know what I mean? If you're doing it, if you're working out mathematically, we're now the best of all time. So it's good. And he done it for Ballyreek and Bob because people were comparing Mongi's Wild and Ballyreek and Bob. So Disco stepped in and said, listen, Bob, I'm I'm holding your guard here because you're still the greatest, mate. Don't worry about
the,
that.
the the home team saved you. The home team
100%.
saved you. Can we move on? Because we've got Ben. We have our first guest. We've got Ben and Jimmy on tonight. And to be honest, I just want to stop talking about Hove, to be honest with you. I've had enough. No, well done, Charlie. In all seriousness,
Thank you. I
it was a
appreciate that.
pleasure. And do you know what? Getting beat weren't the worst. It was sitting next to my mother who's going, "Did you win? Was your six? Oh no, 4-1, 4-1." And then she watched the replay and goes, "Oh no, 6-1." And I was sitting there thinking, I realised that about 3 or 4 minutes ago, to be honest, mum. But yeah, that's the worst part of it. But there we go. Ben, how are you? Sorry, I've just had to deal with Charlie digging us out. Um, Looking forward to tomorrow. On
Thursday. Yeah.
obviously Thursday. This will be out Wednesday, so we're talking from a
Yeah,
mental
yeah. Looking forward
perspective.
to it, mate. Definitely. Definitely. Got three runners of my own on the card on Thursday. So
Yeah,
one in the puppy, one in the main, and then one on the graded as well, late in the night.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Good. We've got you. Obviously, we'll go through the All England Cup from last week and review preview, I should say, the heats. before we get into that, Charles, you've actually got to slip off the season. You've joined us
Yeah.
for Jimmy's part with the puppy, and you've joined to take the piss out of beating me at Hove, and now you're going to disappear, aren't you? Before
Yeah,
we start doing that, and leave it to me and Phil. Have you got an appointment for hairdressers or?
I've actually done that. I've got a bit of
Yeah,
something important to sort out. So,
have you?
it's big.
At 10 o'clock at night, he's got an important meeting.
No,
Yeah. Ask no questions, be told no
Well,
lies.
it's almost it looks bad because Ben's turned up and all of a sudden I've just got to disappear, which
Yeah,
obviously Ben isn't the case. But
yeah.
at least we're leaving this in good hands.
We are. We're leaving it in absolutely solid hands. Charles, it's been a pleasure. We shall see you on the next podcast. Enjoy your hairdresser's appointment and come
well
back
done
looking
again.
more beautiful than normal.
Thank you, boys. Good luck,
Right,
Ben, as
see you
well.
soon. See you,
Thursday.
Charlie.
See ya.
Cheers, pal.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye. Right, that's got rid of him. I'm pleased about that because I would have been grilled for the rest of this if not.
He has clearly been celebrating that all week and barely
He's
looking
been,
at any other greyhound racing.
and you know what? Before we started filming for people here, he goes, "Oh, look what happens to be here," and genuinely, right? Yeah. Oh no, it's just here, ready to be framed. I said, "Oh, is it? Is it? Yeah, yeah. Of course it is." Right, Ben, shall we get into it? How's your week been in preparation for Thursday? Is he fit and well, raring to go?
Dano Bookham, yeah, he's I sort of said at the end of Hove when he got knocked out of Hove, I was gutted because I think he's probably in better shape now than he was actually coming sort of through the derby. To be honest, he had a nice layoff after one more. He picked up a niggle when he stepped up to 6:30 in the summer stayers. So we sat him on his bed for a while where he got a bit fat and yeah, he's just sort of come back to weight. And the trip down to Hove was one where I could see every week that he was just sort of, he's feeling himself, as far as a dog goes. And yeah, his performance last week, to be fair, showed it and all.
Yeah, yeah. I know you tried a couple of different things with dog. Obviously, he had that fantastic Derby campaign, didn't he? He gave you a great campaign
Yeah.
there with the Derby, and I think he probably went into everybody's notebooks then if he hadn't already. As maybe as this six Ben prospect that that looked like he was going to kind of grab the six Ben division by the horns. That would it be fair to say that probably didn't transpire that way, and he probably once trying it proved that he was going to be a strong running four Ben dog.
Yeah, to a point, I think. Yeah, I mean, we've only stepped him up the once. He had one trial before the summer stayers, and then he had his race where he come off the fifth bend and needed oxygen, or that's what it looked like. And we thought he just cramped up. And to be honest, he come off, like I say, with an injury that we had to sit him back for 3 months on that, and it's one of them. After that, it was like, what are we targets getting back for? And obviously 5:15 at Hove, I think everyone, like you say, would look at it and go, that's the trip that should suit him. That's the track that should suit him. So was keen to get him around there, and I mean, I'd love to see him turn a bit closer on one of the weeks at least around there, but unfortunately, he just sat himself out the back and had too much to do in that semi-final. But yeah, we talked about options for him going forward. You know, stepping him back to 480 was only really, to be fair, Tom was the main sort of pusher of that. Obviously, it's on the doorstep, which is one thing, but the dog is as good as we've seen him at the moment at home. So it would have been sort of silly to just sort of overlook it for, whether we decided to try him over a shorter 5.75 at Romford in January or something like that. But
Yeah,
so yeah, we're sort of these few weeks here are more lastminute.com kind of things because he got knocked out at Hove, really.
yeah, of course. Yeah, of
Mm.
course. Was did the Trainers' Championship and the top six battle play a little bit of a role in that to sort of help Tom? I mean, he's a class dog and he's more than capable of scoring good points in that. And we all know, I think every trainer in the country would love to make the top six for that judgment night. And Tom Morgan
Yeah.
held his own last year. Was that part of the thinking? Perhaps throw him in that, hope he keeps qualifying and make the final.
Yeah, I
knows
think
he can
that
win it.
definitely played a part. To be fair, me, Michael, and Tom owned the dog. So three of us had a shout on what happens next after we got knocked out at Hove, and being, as I'm sure you guys are, as soon as you get knocked out, I'm driving home from Hove, and we're already having these conversations on where do we go next or what do we do next,
Yeah,
and reasons why we should and shouldn't. And yeah, to start with, it was a bit like. Do we really want to step him back to 480? But yeah, all things considered, definitely the Trainers' Championship, I would say, probably played into that part as well. He's, running like last week, 28:46 or whatever it was last week, good enough to win this competition. So,
yeah,
he's a big player.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
I think
definitely.
there's a fair few as well looked at next year's calendar and kind of gone. I mean, how many times have we mentioned? Oh, go on, the toaster comp,
Blue
Blue
ribbon,
Ribbon.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think everybody we've spoken to has mentioned it and was like considering it. We've looked at the calendar. A load of people have gone, especially for the strong running types. What is there? There's
hmm
nothing there, so we better get a run in now and then possibly lay him off ready for the derby. So I think that's playing into it a little bit with trainers as well.
That's exactly
yeah,
where we were going with him after Hove was Blue Ribbon. That was the plan. Just give him a few weeks again, over the winter,
And
over
he's
the
giving you
Christmas
some
period.
ride, hasn't he? I mean, the ride through the derby, like
Oh, crazy. Yeah.
it's where I really got to know you guys and Michael's buzz and to stand
Yeah.
on the steps in the same place and
Yeah, we
cheer
love
him
you.
on, and it's just a great journey. And he's from one hell of a family as well, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, the whole litter there is phenomenal. But yeah, yeah, that Derby ride was something else. And I mean, Michael don't stop talking about it. He must message me at least once a week saying, "Oh, I'll never forget that Derby. What a boy!" You know, it is brilliant though. Like the memories of that. And yeah, our main aim for the dog obviously is to try and he's a competition dog in the sense that he's hard to keep out of top three. And the Derby is top three every round. The reason I weren't so as keen on Newcastle is because you go top three, top two, and it's really hard on a 480 trip for him to be a lock for a top two. But I'd be very surprised if he's ever kept out the top three in any race when he's fit and well. And that's the difference, I think, with the trip at Toaster as well.
Just
yeah. I
shows where
thought,
the derby is, doesn't it? Like for you to say, like Michael still texts you now, and
Yeah,
we've chatted in the WhatsApp group a little bit this week because of the Cat One wins that people had and stuff like that, and just where the derby, how far above it
yeah,
ranks in the world of greyhound people and what it means to people.
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's phenomenal.
yeah. I think it's what makes us tick, isn't it? It's what we all want to win, and we all keep trying, and it's hard. It's hard for anybody, even the people that have won it, have won it before. They still don't find it easy to win it the following year. It's the best competition in the world for a reason, and it's the most competitive. But I'm sure we'll get onto that. There'll be plenty of podcasts to talk about the derby come sort of April, May, June time. But sort of so in the future, we maybe look at perhaps a 575 Romford, but in the more immediate term, he's in the semi-final of the All England Cup on Thursday night. Um, we'll start by reviewing the heats from last Thursday, Ben. I'm sure you kept a keen eye on them all, given
Hmm.
you had an interest in it. The winner of the first heat was Droopy's Sword for Kyle Jackson in 28.98. Second was Toddy's Tank for the Kennel Tom's Toddy Tank, and Black House Kim was third.
Yeah,
One of the leading players for the competition, the Lucy's No More, crashed out in fifth. Um, Good race, little bit of a messy affair.
nice.
Um, Tom would be pleased to qualify with Toddy's Tank.
Yeah, Toddy's went round. I think he went round second, and the Sort Dog I think went round fifth or sixth. I think he actually hit the rouse at the first bend as well. Michael actually owns a share in Droopy's Sort as well, so he had a
Oh,
good
okay.
week last week and all. So yeah, I thought this Tank Dog would actually take it up and win, but then yeah, off the last bend, Sort just found his way through the middle and pierced the gap. But yeah, was a solid run. Time weren't there, like you say, it was a bit scrappy, but.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it was slowest of all the heats, I think.
It just didn't show the early, really. Droopy sort. He seemed to check out a little bit, didn't he? And like you say, going out the second bend was probably
Yeah,
sacrifice, but he just he had that. I think he's got a lovely action about him, whether it's the colouring or whatever. But when he opened up and got going, he's just so smooth in his action, and he came and
Yeah.
took it up really well, I thought, and powered through.
Yeah, and he is new to Cole's Kennel as well. They've only had him, I want to say, about 6 to 8 weeks, and they sort of dropped him in the Sunderland comp that Santos Amigo won last month, just as a bit of a sort of, we got nowhere else to go as far as I sort of see it. It's not really his ideal trip, but we'll take him around Sunderland, and he made the final of it as well. So he's a dog that's got pace, but yeah, still finding his way. I think still going to see better from him.
Yeah, he was sure enough in the betting for that as well. And I will quite honestly admit, I had a look at the betting for it, and I see Droopy Sort, and I looked and I thought, who the hell is Droopy Sort?
Yeah.
Never,
He did
never
a
heard of
flying
him.
trial before, though, didn't he?
He
He
did,
just
and then I
appeared
looked.
with an unreal
He
trial.
did. I looked at his
26,
trials and I
90.
thought,
Yeah.
okay, well that's who Droopy Sort is. Like,
Yeah.
he's turned up, but he confused me a little bit because I know Sunderland had their timing issues. But he almost his times would from his trials, his sectionals and his trials would suggest he's shown a little bit of early pace. Whereas in the competition, he was flopping out and
Yeah.
sort of and running on. And I mean, his trial at Newcastle first look was a 460 sectional. It's not completely paceless to the bend. So I think now he's probably just starting to find his feet with Carl, and 28.67 first look, he wouldn't grumble. It was a messy affair in the first round. If he goes round in the next round in the 28.50, even jumping into the 40s, you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
He's a fast dog. He's a player. Don't make no mistake about that.
Yeah. He's also got one of the best draws in the semi-final as well, but we'll probably get to that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get to that. Yeah, we will get to that definitely. Um, yeah, right. On to heat number two then. We spoke about her so far, plenty in this podcast already since it started. But Slingshot Poppy was the winner, 5-4 favourite, 28.56. Probably more impressive was the sectional 4.46. Um, it almost doesn't come as a shock with Poppy anymore. They're absolutely flying. Um, Neokra was second. Did he win the Northern Flat? He won the Northern Flat, didn't he, this
Did.
year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
10 to
remind me.
1 for John Flaherty, and second was Ballymac Briar for Kale. Some good names there, crashing out the competition. Jack Tavern Chief, Zenith Tanju, obviously formerly Solmio,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Frieden Pro-Am for Tom. I mean, what can we say about Slingshot Poppy that we haven't already? Um, the early pace the bitch has is sensational, isn't it?
I mean, Knocker has gone up in a 456, and any other, we'd be saying it's flown out, and she's gone 10 spots faster. The bitches, and I don't even think she comes away smooth. That's the crazy thing. Like
Sort of
we've
had a little
mentioned,
jig, doesn't she?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we've mentioned before that sprint trial that we all saw online where we've never seen a dog trap like it. I don't think she's done that yet in a four
Yeah.
bend race, and if she does that, it could be incredible. I know Jimmy was talking about a spot that they clocked her. I wish we'd
We've
asked.
not had Jimmy on yet, Phil,
Oh,
have
good
we?
God.
No. But do you know what? Yeah, given the editing, right, Charles will do a wonderful bit of editing, but Jimmy's actually already been on, but Jimmy's in the later part of the show. So that's showbiz for you, all right, friends?
But Jimmy was talking about where he clocks to, and they've got a 200 marker. And we should have asked him what Poppy does to it, because I did a
Yeah, we
little
should
bit
have
of
done.
comparison and did her to the third bend. Like, she is absolutely flying.
Yeah.
So she's just a cracking bitch in there. I do think the knocker dog is just a brilliant competition dog, and the way that John Flaherty handles him and has got him running, I think he's a pretty much a complete dog. He's got the early, stays it strong, and yeah, it just met one a bit too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
lots of pace on the Ultra Dog in too. He's in second there.
Yeah.
Yeah, fast dog, definitely.
Where are we with Poppy in terms of? I mean, I don't want to repeat perhaps what we've spoke about in previous podcasts, but Ben, obviously, we'll get your opinion on it.
Yes, he does.
Where are we? Hey,
Yes, he does. I know what questions come in here.
do you? I was going to say, where are we in terms of overall time? Are we off that sectional? Would we expect a bit quicker?
Yeah, yeah. I thought her time on the eye the other day was quicker.
Me too.
Yeah, but Neokra like I said, Neokra turn in second. She took about 3 lengths out of Neokra down the back. No,
Mm.
like if you watch Nyokra during the Northern Flat, he was making lengths on dogs down the back. That's where he gets going, and she took time off him. I know he come back to her a bit, but yeah, I was surprised to see 56 on the clock. To be fair, yeah,
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
think she's staying it. She's not staying it strong, and
No.
I think that's I I did the comparison of her and Sky from the third bend back, and I've got Sky doing about 4 lengths out of her.
Mm,
So it's yeah,
mm,
yeah. I mean, a trial 460. I mean, she probably needed the run after it. She hadn't run since the 21st of November. So she's then come on the 4th of December to Newcastle for a trial. She only done a 460 sectional, which for her would be would be pedestrian like, and she clocked a 28.56 for a trial, which you'd probably say is good given her running style. She is all early pace. I just thought finding 14 spots on the sectional and another run, I probably expected to come on a little bit more for it.
yeah.
I mean, that could come this week. We don't know the kind of week they had, do we? I mean, she could quite easily come out next week and do 28-20 and go, there you go. There's that improvement you all wanted
and
without
she's an October 23, isn't she? And we don't know where
yeah.
she is season wise, so there might be a bit of strengthening up in her as
Yeah,
well.
they yeah,
Uh,
they definitely could be.
yeah,
They definitely could be. And she's by Grandview 10 as well. So
yeah,
they tend to stay they tend to stay fairly well. Make no mistake, she can win this competition because she could take a sizable step forward. I don't think there's anything in the competition that will lead her. I
no.
think she'll make the final. I think she'll lead the final, and then I think it'll be just a case of what's going to turn behind her. I do think that it's the only thing that could potentially stop her making the final, in my opinion, is if something gets up her inside to the third bend, a little bit like what happened at Sunderland. Um, I think if something got by her that early on in the race, she might be in trouble. But well, I mean, we'll get to her semi-final heat, but yeah, very impressive early paced bitch. I like her
Yeah.
a lot. I think she's brilliant. I'd love to train the bitch given the chance. And I really, really, really hope at some point in her career they take her to Romford because I just want to see what she could do around there. I really do because I like her. And I'd take the Gazza dog as well because I like him too, but we'll go off on a tangent. Bally McBriar, the other qualifier, back in third. Yeah, done nothing wrong for is it Stuart Kate? Is it Stuart Kale? Have I got that right?
Not sure.
Stuart Kale?
No. Oh,
Right,
sorry.
cut that bit out, Charlie. Yeah, yeah. Barry McBride back in third. He will take his place in the semi-final, and we'll have a look at that coming up. Right, the third semi-final then. Again, won by one of Tom's unanimous Leon. In
Yeah.
second was Saline Ree, the 2-1 favourite, and third was Big Prize Coco at 22-1. 28.63 for unanimously Leon. Not a not a shabby run for a dog like him, is he? He's renowned for his early pace. He'd be happy enough.
Yeah, absolutely. He's sort of coming towards the back end of his career as well. He's had an injury earlier in the year that he took a while to come back from. No, the dog's made what 5 Cat 1 finals, I think. You know, he's a. I know that he's absolutely loved in the kennels. Scotty makes sure as he walks him every week. It's his duty to walk Leon, but yeah, he did it well from a nice draw last week. To be fair, and went up fast. And the Salim Reed dog, they like to back that every week. It's got a lot of pace, and when it
Yeah,
turns sort of within a length or two of Leon, it was game on. To be fair, I did wonder who would stay best, and they've straightened up off the last, and Leon's stayed every yard of it. To be fair, so yeah,
yeah,
ran away from the dog.
yeah. He's
Mm.
been a grand dog, hasn't he? He's been a proper open race dog. Everywhere you
Oh,
take him, he puts in open race performances. Yeah, all right. He's not, he's not ever going to be a four-time Category One winner. But what you get from him every single week is a solid performance. He turns up, and that's all you can ask. That's all you can ask for a dog. There's nothing worse than one that turns up one week, doesn't turn up the next. You get the same
Yeah,
from him every time he runs. And
he
if he's
never
in a
knows when
race
he's
he can
beat
win, he
either.
wins it.
He
No,
never knows when he's beat. Even if he don't lead, he puts in a run. You'll see him. The reason he's got to 5 Cat 1s is because he has found second and third when he's needed to, even though
yeah,
he's not turned in front. He's a proper good dog. Yeah, really
yeah,
nice dog.
yeah. Good. What's his draw like in the semi? I haven't actually got to him yet.
I
He's in
think
with
the semi is
Poppy.
fascinating.
He's in with Poppy. Yeah.
He's inside Poppy and Santa's Amigo.
Yeah.
Is he?
That is just
That's
one in
right.
three
I
dogs
did.
flying
Yeah,
to the bend is going to be
I did see
fascinating.
that semi-final. I'm there Thursday as well. I'll watch it like that.
It's
Right, let's
Stephen Kale. I've just checked.
Stephen Kerr. I knew that. That's all right. Charlie's going to edit the bit out where I called him Stuart. I think I was getting confused with Stu Ty. I think that's what was going on. Who's now at
Yeah.
Peterborough. He used to train at
Yeah.
Newcastle. That's where I was getting confused. On to Heat 4. Are we on now? Heat 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have spoken to Jimmy already. We won't go into too much about what Jimmy said about Ballymac Lake because it's later on in the show. But Ballymac Sargi was the winner here, 29 dead. Again, it was a crowded race, wasn't it? It was a bit messy. Nothing was ever going to put up anything flashy after
Yeah.
that race. Second was Ballymac Lake, and third was Slingshot Key, and just a head and neck split between all three of them. And then Copper Sapphire was back in fourth. She was only beating a short head. They all crossed the line. They all crossed the line together. Sing Along Molly did look to go lame at the first bend, so we hope everything is okay with her, and hope she's on the mend. But yeah, Ballymac Sargi, another winner for Tom.
Indeed.
And he's sort of different to Leon, and he's a little bit more like Bookham, isn't he? He's a stronger runner.
Yeah, he gets a six bend trip reasonably well. He wins his fair share around Pelor and up in the northeast here over six bend trips for sure. Um, Slingshot Keon who come third there has been withdrawn from the semis as well. He was in the third heat for to put even more speed in that heat, but he's actually been withdrawn.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, this was a weird heat, wasn't it? Because when Ballymac Lake turned where he did, and I'm sure you get onto it, Jimmy, later, but when he turned where he did, you just think, all right, okay, he's going to show you what he's got now. But yeah, I was stunned to see Sargi come through the middle of him off down the home straight and
yeah,
get his nose in front.
yeah.
Mm.
It was a funny race, and Jimmy does say later that he expects his dog to come forward a little bit. He expected it last week, but you know, the main thing is obviously from the point of view of them both is that they qualified. They're there next week to put
Yeah,
that better performance in and put that better clock down. But yeah, Sargi, he won that little comp, didn't he? At Pelor, did he? Over 590? Was it? They had a little
yeah, that's
comp,
it. The
didn't they?
Untold Stewards Cup, I
That's
think it
it.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, he
yeah,
was impressive in that, and I thought he was a really good winner actually. And he was 2-1 for that final, and he won it rather comfortably.
he was. Yeah, he was in against the local Emily Superstar at the time, and
That's right. Yeah,
yeah, was winning pretty much every week round there. But yeah, no, yeah, he's a good dog, is Sargi. He's a consistent type. You know what you're going to get from him each week. That sort of dog.
yeah, yeah. And like you say, if he gets in that first two in that semi final and he's in the final, if Bookham was to make it as well, he's going to have two runners in there that if there's any trouble, he's going to have the two strongest runners in the race to
Pick up
to
the
sort of
scraps.
mop up that trouble. And it's not you don't keep strong runners for you never sort of beat a strong runner because they're always in with a chance if things ever go wrong. Even when they're lying fourth, if these come together at this bend, he's in. So there's nothing wrong with going to war with a strong runner. That is for sure.
Yeah.
On to another Tom Elebron winner in the next, and this is the one we've got you on for. This is the one we've got you on for, Ben. He really impressed me here. I thought he was ultra impressive. I said Volta and Strike at Sky stood out for me in the puppy. This lad stood out for me in the All England Cup for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he won easy 6 lengths, 28.56. He led at the 3/4 mark, and he absolutely tore away, didn't he?
Yeah, he was just so professional about it, how he went about it as well. That coming to the third bend, and I was talking to Michael yesterday, and we saw it in the derby a lot, where Dano's going so quick into the third, fourth because his legs are just going that he's going faster than the dog in front of him, and you think, well, he will catch him, but if he's not careful, he'll run up the backside and then check and what else have you. But he just seems to get to the third bend and then go, right, how am I going to get, when are you going to move out of your way? And he did it last week with the dog that was in front, the 4 dog Crook Stevie. And as soon as that gap just opened, to win 6 lengths, and he turned off the fourth bend level with him. It's just, quite ridiculous, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
I actually thought he was too short in the race. I couldn't bet him at that price. Like I say, stepping down in trip as well and that sort of stuff. It was just,
yeah,
he proved me well wrong.
yeah. I mean, it's easy to say. It is easy to say now, obviously, because you're looking and going, well, he won 6 lengths, but you can see why he was short because he's the class act. But you're right. The trip is, by all known evidence, the wrong one for him.
Yeah.
But he made a complete mockery of that. He was top class that night, wasn't he, Phil?
Oh, it was unreal. Keely will always bang on with Newcastle that you need that strong runner because that running just takes it out of him. And I think he showed it there, didn't he? The way that he pulled away and just ate up
Yeah.
the ground, it just proves what that running's like. And he was just desperate for it. And he's just matured into a cracking dog. Cracking dog. It just
Yeah.
as long as he gets that run round the first, I don't even think he needed the gap to open up as such. He just never looked in danger. It just oozed class. So
It
yeah,
did. It wasn't a laboured staying on performance where he's kind of laboured past the winner and won a
no,
couple of lengths. He absolutely he took it up and then he was gone, wasn't he? He powered
Yeah.
away. There wasn't a thought about, oh, I've gone past this dog now, my work's done. He was away and
He went
I
straight
mean
after it, didn't he? Yeah.
yeah, he
If you
was
if you watch it all the way to the pickup as well, the other 5 dogs didn't even bother getting there. He absolutely, just destroyed them, and they were just like, "Well, we're over this," and they
yeah,
stopped just after the second bend, and it's just
yeah,
funny. Yeah, it was
yeah,
something.
were you there,
he
Ben?
was
You
good.
did some miles, didn't you, to get there?
Oh no, I made it back from where was I in the day? I was down in Swindon, wasn't I? Yeah. And I made it back from Swindon at about 6 o'clock. So it would have been touch and go whether I made it. So I just didn't to my house, obviously. So I
Yeah.
didn't go over, but yeah, watched it. Obviously, showered it from home. Yeah,
Are you going
maybe
Thursday?
maybe that's the key.
Are you going Thursday?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
there Thursday, mate. Yeah.
yeah. Lovely. Right, let's get on to the final heat. This was also impressive, it has to be said, by the classic winner. Um, Santa's Amigo, we'll go for it first. 28:30 on the clock, 4:56 section, again, impressive. Second was Joe Edgar's Fabulous Harmony, who was last seen winning an A2, and to only get beat 4.5, our performance like that was a hell of a run from her. And in third was Loxley's Forest for Jason Gray, who travelled up. Um, Bombay Fantasy was the one I thought had a big each way chance in the competition, but he's gone out in fourth. Black House Louis and Parkview Sprite out there as well. I mean, Santa's Amigo, when he first came on the scene, there was a lot of talk. I mean, a lot of talk. I think most of it, if I'm quite honest, came from his breeder. His breeder was very, very vocal on Twitter about how much he thought of this dog.
Ryan, yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, Ryan. Yeah, he was very, very vocal, and he's popped me a message a few times with pups that he's schooling, and I always say
Yeah.
to give me a shout. And he was very vocal about the quality of this one. Um, and I think he probably I think it'd be fair to say he voiced his opinions about where the dog was running when he first started, but David stuck to his guns on the way David wants to train the dog, and it was the right decision to take him to Sunderland, that's for sure. And you'd have to say so far to step him up to 480 in Newcastle, that looks the right decision as well because he was very, very good, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah. I remember I think one of his first races was Monmore, wasn't it? And I think it was about almost the same sort of time that Romeo and Tomcat went round there, like within a couple of weeks of each other. And they both done very similar performances where they just cut through the field like, knife through butter. And you thought, well, there's 2 superstars coming through right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's taken a while for Amigo to sort of show. Obviously, we know what Tomcat's capable of, but for
yeah, yeah,
Amigo to show what he really is. But Sunderland last week, I was there on finals night, and he was absolutely foot perfect from the boxes round the bend and just destroyed the field, which was a decent final lineup as well. To be fair,
yeah. It
um,
was, and that Sunderland competition that he went to, the first round of that was actually his first race since August.
mhm.
So to just turn up and win a classic in the way that he did. I know he got beat in the first round, but I mean, he was more than entitled to need the run. So then sort of win your next two races, one being a Category 1 final, then sort of go back north and win the first round of the All England Cup in the manner that he did. I think he's a serious dog. He could almost, despite
Yes.
being a Category 1 winner already, and he made the Category 1 final, I think, at Toaster also. He could almost be going a little bit under the radar. This could be an even better dog that people realise, because he could actually still be improving upon what we've seen so far. He's very good, this dog.
Yeah.
Very good dog.
Yeah, definitely agree. September 23 as well, so still, plenty more to come from him into the next year. Nice age for a Derby runner. If he gets the trip at Toaster, he'll be a player there as well. Definitely.
Definitely. First semi-final, Trap 1, Crooks Coco, Trap 2, Ballymac Lake, Trap 3, Droopy's Bookham, Trap 4, Ballymac Sargi, 5, Nyokra, and 6 is Black House Kim. Only one place to start with you on it, Ben, Droopy's Bookham. How do you see the race panning out for him?
It's quite hard to tell, to be honest, from the free box. Obviously, every time we get a draw with him, we just want the red jacket and we just take the chance from there. But um, I always say that he tends to track better from the middle. Like every time he's found himself in 4 and 3, he's just found himself popping from the lids, and sometimes it's worked out well for him, and sometimes it actually to his detriment. But um, he had a similar draw in the semi-final of Northern Flat. He was in the 3, and he led round, and and there was more pace on his inside. He actually had elusive no more on his inside in that race, and he's come out of 3, led it, and run away from him.
Yeah,
Um, the benefit of him being in 3, there isn't a bundle of pace inside. Crooks Coco's got a bit of early up in the grades. He did fall out last week, but you know, eh, there is a chance that he actually leads the inner and gets across. But equally, I'd just be as happy for him to just sort of tuck in and find that rail and just run his race again. That's
yeah. I mean, I look at probably the key for him as well is negotiating Ballymac Lake early.
Mhm.
Um, he certainly wouldn't want to be turning behind 1, 2, and 4, would he? I mean, you don't want a wall of dogs in front of you, certainly at Newcastle when you're running over a chip that's short your best. I mean, the way I looked at it was Neokra for me is the surefire leader. I think
Yes.
he's the dog that leads the race without a shadow of a doubt. That he done 28.56 last week behind Poppy. That was no disgrace at all. But that said, if Bookham does turn that bend second, I think he could be in a bit of trouble coming home, because I don't think anything's going to hold him in this race. If I'm being honest, if he was to turn second, I think Droopy's Bookham is definitely the key to the race. Where
Yeah.
where he turns that first bend is very important to his chances and to the others, I think.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, it's top 2 now. So we can't just find a third place and sit in around and just nick third. It is
Yeah,
top 2. But I did watch the Ballymac Lake race, and he actually traps pretty well, the Lake dog, but he just got like he lacked early toe to the bend, and that's not necessarily ideal for us. I'd rather he didn't trap as great. We popped and just chopped across him a bit, but. Yeah, Nyokra does look the leader to me. One might throw a spanner into that, but I still think Nyokra goes past it down the back anyway.
yeah,
Yeah, I had Nyokra in here. I had Dano in as favourite just because he's Dano, to be honest, and I was trying not to be biased, but I
yeah,
did make him favourite in the race. But Nyokra's not far behind in the betting there, and I'd be interested to see how he's priced in this heat, to be honest.
yeah. I think it's one of them when you've got like when you're running the dog that's its best trip is probably over further, but you've probably got the fastest dog in the race at this point.
Yeah,
You almost want to bet him because you're betting the fastest dog, but you could almost bet it and go to the first one and go, I knew he's going to go fifth. Like you're stuck between whether they're a good bet or a bad bet, and whatever you do, you're going to be wrong because he could come out the second bend not betting, and go, he's won now,
yeah,
and then it's one of
yeah,
them I think that you'd rather watch.
I think the one
Phil,
I think I can see Nyokra leading and 100%, and then I think the one almost holds the key to the race. I think if that bangs out, I think that unfortunately causes Bookham some trouble, and I think then the 6 dog who knows the track inside out is going to get a clear around the outside, and 28.55 is no slouch whatsoever. And I can't see anything picking it up. And I just think I think Buchan will get a run against Lake. Lake's just baffled me. That last week's run, I messaged you straight away, Liam. Baffled. I don't know what was going on. So hopefully he shows his true form and comes on. But I think if the one dog bangs out, that can cause Buchan a little bit of trouble. If not, Buchan gets a run round and then he can pick any of them up. So, but I think Knocker's the winner. That's what I'm going for anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I take your point about Six completely. I actually really like her. She's been off a little while. I actually put her up for a British bred competition at Nottingham. In typical me fashion, I got a knockout in the semi-final, but she is very good. She's on the comeback, like you said, at 28.55. There's nothing wrong with that. If she was to turn up and produce that as the sole wide seed, then there's no danger. She's a player. It's a good race. Throw in Ballymac Sargi into that, who's also going to be finishing well.
Yeah.
You got a proper race there. That will be good. And if you could speak to a fortune teller now or somebody that can predict the future, and they said any one of them won, you wouldn't go, wow, really? It's one of them.
no.
It's one of them where you could make a case for all of them, and it'll be a good race. I'm a little bit like you. I want to go with the dog that I think is going to hit the front at some point in the race, and that's Nyokra. If I was having a bet, because I'm sure at some point in the race he's going to be in front. However, if Bookham comes off the second bet in second, I'll speak to the bookie and ask if I can swap my ticket because I think I'm beat. but yeah, it's a good race. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm there Thursday as well. I'm looking forward to
And
watching it.
looking at the sectionals, it's one of those races that you kind of it's set up to be a good race. And I hope I'm not putting curse on it, but you almost look like you've got early paces that are there to be shot at and dogs behind that are good enough to come from off the pace, and it's set up to be a cracker of a race, and
It is.
it's one of those, as a handicapper, you'd be happy if you'd set it up. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I hope and pray for a clean race because this deserves to be a clean race because it'll be a good one.
yeah.
And everything deserves
Yeah.
to have a chance, have a clear run at it. So, right, on to the
I
next.
just looked there as well. I just looked there as well. That
Yeah,
that semi-final of Northern Flat where he led Elusive No More. He also led Miocro on his inside and all.
did
So
he?
you never know.
Yeah.
That'd be
No, you never
nice.
know. No, you're right.
Miocro was in one and Elusive No More was in two. So
Yeah, there we go. And to
maybe
be
he does
fair,
just leave.
the pair of them have probably got more early than what's inside him this week. So he's on
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
He's got
What's he like temperament wise, Ben? You know, like Patrick said about Plunge being quite nervous. Is there any of that in Bookham?
No, he's not nervous, but he's placid as you like.
Is
Like
it?
he's just he's so mellow. Hence the trips to Hove. You know, he was jumping in the car and just laying down and then ready to get out for a piss when he needed to. And you know, he was just so yeah. He's non-fussed about anything. The boy. Yeah.
and he went with you as well, didn't he, Ben? You took him,
Mm,
didn't you?
yeah.
Do you? I
Yeah. In the
mean, this is
betting
probably
motor.
going. Do you do anything in the kennel, or are you just solely an owner?
Well, it's obviously, I don't do anything in the kennel, but if there's ever any tracks that need
Yeah,
me to do kennel out work, yeah, you know, I just sort of Tom knows that I'm keen to do it anytime. So
yeah,
whenever he's short of a person, like even on Thursday, if there's only one there, I'll come on and do the doubles with him, you know,
yeah,
or whatever it is. But
yeah.
yeah,
I
the
just,
Hove agreement was based on sort of that part of it. I know it's a lot to ask for the kennel to figure that out.
yeah.
So I sort of said to Tom, I'll get in there every week, you know, don't worry, kind of thing. And
Do you know, it's
give him a
testament for the
chance.
dog because if you're not working with him every day, I know they almost don't know you're the owner, do they? But like for they like obviously sometimes, especially nervous dogs like Plunge. He's
Yeah,
a sibling, but you certainly could have nobody that he didn't see every day take him. I speak to Patrick and
yeah,
Cheryl,
that's fair.
but
Yeah.
for him not to even be worried, just yeah, you take me, not a problem. Like, it's a character. It shows his character, doesn't it?
Well, the kennels are 10 minutes away. I do pop over there a fair amount and give him a walk and that. But yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah,
you're saying. Yeah,
yeah.
he wasn't bothered about getting into a stranger's car at all. No.
No, no, good. On to the next semi-final then. Droopy Sort, who we mentioned in 1, Ballymacbriar trap 2, Loxley's Forest 4, Jason Graham 3, Toddy's Tank in 4, Crooks Stevie in 5, and Fabulous Harmony in trap 6. For me, when I had a look at this was probably the weakest semi-final. Um,
Yeah.
for me, on immediate viewing, I probably wanted to be with Trap One, Droopy Saw, even though I can't really get my head around the dog. I don't know what I'm going to get. I really don't know what I'm going to get from
Yeah.
him. Um, he was the dog I wanted to be with. I'd like to see Jason Gray's dog run well too. Um, I thought it was tricky. Um, I don't know, Ben. You would have watched the races a lot more closely than me. Did any of these catch your eye that made you think, you know what, next week there's a massive performance in them?
Well, we mentioned it already. Fabulous and Harmony ran a great race in behind Santa's
Yeah,
Amigo, and it was, was eye catching. It's one of them. I think it's posted other than the A2 that she won that was hand timed, notably the week before. It was her
yeah,
quickest time outside of that. Um, was that because Amigo just towed her around, and she stayed a trip a bit better because she's chasing it? Not that she's
yeah,
not honest, but you know what I mean there.
yeah. Of
Um,
course.
Dragging the time on the board. I actually think that Toddy's Tank can lead this race up. I think he's got a nice draw in this. I'd make him favourite in the race, um, and make it between that and the red that you mentioned as to who actually wins
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I
I,
was
I
just
had Toddy's Tank leading.
Yeah.
I thought Toddy's Tank led it up, and then I was with, interestingly, between the two that you both mentioned, I can't make it a clean race. It's a weird one. I've looked at it always, and I just think it's one of those that's a bit of a messy affair. The 6 bit, she's bang right season. She's running into form.
I
Like
was just about to mention
that
that. Yeah,
that 28.51 on card. That's a real good one. Real good run. She's gonna get a run out there, and then Droop it sort. You just don't know if he's going to get it. It's pretty similar to what we've just mentioned before. Is he going to get the run? Like
yeah,
that,
The
he's
Briar
clearly
dog is a
got.
proper railer as well, in
Yeah,
two. He's a
he,
proper
he
railer.
must have the early to do what he did round Sunderland. You can't go around there unless you've got the early. You must have.
uh,
I've watched it and I'm baffled what happened last week. He come out. I don't know if he come out flat footed, but just he didn't show any zip up
Yeah.
whatsoever. And then coming out of the second, he's just taken off. But on his form, on his sectionals, to the eye, it just looked wrong. It was just weird. So
yeah. He does confuse me. He confuses me. I think I've almost gone with him because he intrigues me. Because I don't understand him, I don't know what I'm getting. You're right, Phil. If I was as much as I would have a punt at Droopy Saw, the six everything signals to me that the six is now coming right. Being Fabulous Harmony. I hate calling dogs by their numbers. Sorry, Fabulous Harmony is coming right. It's 19 weeks out of season today. I know that the A2 she won in 28.51 was hand timed, but she annihilated them 8 lengths.
Hmm.
Um, and last week, 4.5 behind Santa's Amigo. He could win this race, Santa's Amigo, 5, 6, 7 lengths, no problem.
He'd be a very short price favourite. Yeah.
Yeah, he would. And back form pre-season, Fabulous Harmony was an A1 bit. She's won she was only 4-1 for a Category 2 final around there. She won her semi-final in 28.70, got back into A1s. Before she came in season, she had 5 A1s. She won 2, was second 3 times. So she can run. And they're all 28.60s, 70s. Um, she could just be coming right. She could win the race, no problem. If I was betting to save my life, I'd probably bet 6, but I just want to be with 1 just because I don't know what I'm getting yet. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's another race again. There's no clear-cut winner, I don't think.
Well,
No.
if you look at the race and their SPs from last week, none of these dogs went off short of fives
No.
in any race. So you can just sort of make that argument that the dog that Jason's bringing up did 10 spots quicker in his trial to the line the week before. There's dogs there that actually just might just run this track better this week and turn it on. But yeah, I think I would be with Toddy's tank to lead round tonight.
Yeah, he could do. I don't think there's much. Loxley's Forest hasn't got a lot of early pace. I do struggle to see him getting a run, if I'm being totally honest. His Nottingham form isn't bad. The 29.89, 29.93. I mean, you do have to take Nottingham times with a pinch of salt. It's like running on the M1 sometimes, the plus 50s and 60s and whatever it is. But yeah, tricky race. I'm changing my mind. I'm going for trap six, Fabulous Harmony. I'm changing my mind. Everybody get on that.
That's
No, so
it.
you
Everybody watch Droopy's sort bang
yeah,
on the inside,
yeah,
mate.
absolutely explode out.
Hannah, make sure you
You
go
both
with
for
it.
four. You both for four.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm 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 with four. Yeah, he's got some times off the card as well. You see,
yeah,
28.71 in Sheffield, 28.55 round here before as well. Yeah.
yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's good. I can definitely see. I can definitely see that argument 100%. On to the final heat then. Uh, Trap one, Deerjet Rocket. Trap two, Unanimous Leon. Trap three, Slingshot Poppy. Trap four, Santos Amigo. And trap five, Saline Rye. I'm not sure how they pronounce that one. I don't even want to start. Phil, you start. How do we break this down?
I don't want to be disrespectful to Tom's dog and the Salim Reed dog on the inside, but I have this between the three, and I just think this is one hell of a race. I can't. This is the race I cannot wait to see. I think Poppy's got a box. I, I'm. I mentioned before about her seeding coming back to middle. It worries me her stuck out wide. I don't think she wants to be there. And unfortunately, if you see middle, you're going to draw 5 or 6 sometimes. I think the 3 is her box, and hopefully we see that ping break that we saw in that sprint trial that time, and we get to see what she can really do. Now, the Santos Amigo dog, Dave's, is a flying machine. I have a question mark if it's around other dogs. And if Poppy bangs up its inside and Leon bangs up its inside, I'm not sure what it'll do. I think it likes a bit of racing room. It likes to be out clear, and then it's an aeroplane when it's on it. And it is an aeroplane. I just think it needs a little bit of racing room. The Tom's dog, Unanimous Leon, is going to, for me, I think he'll lead Poppy round.
Do
And
you?
then, yeah, not lead Poppy round. I think he'll follow Poppy round.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Quite
And
different. Quite different, them two things, Phil.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was going
yeah.
to say
I
that
think
shocked me.
I think he'll follow Poppy round, and then I think we'll really see what Santos Amigos head's like, whether he needs racing room.
So interesting. Has he got form for passing dogs? Has he got form any form from behind?
I
Leon.
don't think so.
No, sorry, Amigo. Santa's Amigo.
Oh, Amigo, sorry. Not I know of. No, no.
It just I mentioned it before Sunderland, and I said before the Sunderland final, I fancied him. I thought he was going to bang out and win, but he's one of them dogs that's got into trouble in races when I fancied him to win, and I just have that question mark whether he needs a bit of racing room. Now, by all accounts, Poppy's going to bang out and he's going to get plenty of room. So,
Yeah,
therefore, can he sort himself out? He's going to get plenty. So, and he is an aeroplane.
I guess it's in a case of how often in his life has he been led up?
Yeah.
How is he going to deal when a dog is in front of him, probably to the third bend? You know, will he just will he
I mean,
negotiate it no problem? Will he finish second and qualify behind her? I don't know. It's a good race. Ben, what's your thoughts?
well, he has led 3 at Sunderland doing 27.08 back in June. That was, coming past the dog Sunnyside Jaden that's got bundle of early itself as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, you could make a case for it. I don't think it. For me, pricing this race up, you're pricing who makes the bend in front, and it's as simple as that. Like,
yeah,
and you can, I know we're discounting 1 and 5. On best form, you could make a case for any of them going around. Poppy's, for me, the one that will, but that's not hard to say. Um, I just think she is a class above to the bend than any of these
yeah,
things. But you could look back on Salim Ree's form. On Salim Ree's best form, I think it's got 450 in there somewhere, 453 in there.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you know, you've got Dear Jet Rocket that can do 28.55 on the bunny. Like whichever dog turns in front, it wins for me. I don't think anything goes past anything. But
No,
yeah,
no. I mean, it's quite possible. I mean, this is why sort of people new to ground racing will look and they perhaps say, well, yeah, but last week Santa's Amigo done 28.20 and Slingshot Puppy done 28.26. That's over
Mhm.
3 lengths.
Mm.
But sometimes dogs that are so used to leading and have
Yeah,
got so much experience when they're leading, when they have to pass a dog, especially a fast dog, dogs that are traveling perhaps not quite as fast, but not dramatically slower, they struggle to negotiate getting past the dog and they soon lose the time that they've got in hand, how to get past it, checking up behind. And I I am going to go with Slingshot Poppy because I do think her speed to the third bend is just phenomenal. I do expect her to step forward again on last week. However, I do also think that Santos Amigo will qualify. I do think they'll be first and second. I know I'm not going out. I'm not exactly going out, putting my head on the line there, am I? Or neck on the line, I should say. But yeah, unanimous Leon holds the key to the race for me.
yeah,
That's who I think. That's who I think holds the key because if he takes an absolute flyer, which he is more than capable of doing, any hold up of Poppy, and I think she's banging trouble over 480. I have made that clear before, and I think it showed at Sunderland when she got tangled with Romeo Steele. I know that was a real bad tangling, wasn't it? But if she gets held up at any point, I think she's in trouble. She needs everything her own way over this trip. Um, but she's
yeah,
that good early that she often gets it. That's the thing with her. Um, yeah, be a good race. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a great car. But yeah, I would be with Poppy. I do think Dear Jet Rocket's got it all to do. He would be the one I would have to say I'd be surprised if he was the winner of the race. But
agreed.
again, he's the one that's finishing his races nicely. And with all that early pace in there, they come together and you've suddenly got a dog that's not a short runner, so to speak, taking advantage of it. It's a good race. It's a good race. It's a
Yeah,
good race.
the Rocket Dog will take a little step to the right as well. So Leon's got to be on his toes in that sense too. I think Poppy will go around. I think Leon might sneak a second place. Like I say, he's a real trying dog, even in behind.
Yeah,
And he might be 3 lengths behind Poppy coming the winning line. But he could still sneak a place. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's going to be a good test for the Santa's Amigo dog. Be a test of his character as well. He's
And that's what I'm interested to see. The
mm,
yeah.
good news for you, Ben, is on that we've got middles and wides going through,
Oh really?
And Bookham draws the one in the final.
Very nice. Oh yeah, yeah. So I want Leon out, really, don't I? What am I talking about?
yeah. Do you
Yeah,
know
I,
what?
I
What a
mean,
final that could end up being.
you've got
Yeah,
three dogs in this race that are the three quickest in the comp to the bend.
yeah,
Mm,
Like we've gone through the first two heats, and we got some different opinions of who will lead the races because it is very open who could lead them races.
yeah,
But you've got first, second, and fourth in the betting in 2, 3, and 4.
yeah,
Good reason.
yeah. It's very good. It's a very good race. So I'm going to go with Poppy. Phil, who you with?
Bobby.
Poppy. Ben,
Yeah,
Poppy. Hat
yeah.
trick for Poppy. We've all
Hmm.
we've all picked the dog on the race that we think is a really tough one, but we've all
Yeah,
picked the same. Right,
Yeah.
that takes us to the end of those. Then you mentioned on the card, Ben, you've got two other runners.
Yeah.
Go on, tell us their chances. Tell us their
Uh,
chances on the night. Tell us who they are, and we'll
yeah.
have a look.
So Droopy's Link is in the Jimmy Wright puppy.
Yeah,
He's drawn heat with your Strike It Sky.
yeah,
So to be honest, outside of obviously Sky herself, I give him a poke to squeeze a place. And the nice thing about this is it's top three again.
yeah,
So we're not just sort of giving one place to your bitch to then fight
yeah,
over
yeah.
the
Of course,
second.
yeah,
has he
We've got
got has
two.
he got plenty of improvement in him, Ben? Does Tom think?
He had a bit of time off himself because he had a little niggle in his shoulder. So he spent a month sort of sitting in his bed. And yeah, I'd like to see. He done a 28:50, 56, I think, round there for us on his second or third go. he's very erratic at the boxes. If you'll watch him head on and see him bouncing up and down, and that's where he sort of falls down because he's got a bundle of pace to the bend and to the third bend. But yeah, I was surprised he stayed on well enough to get second last week, to be honest, after he fluffed it up. But yeah, we'll be fighting for second or third place in that one.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly hopeful he gets it. But
His sprint trial was good, wasn't it? On his comeback, 1686.
yeah, he's got a load of early. He's blessed with early speed to the third bend. In his early races, he showed us how quick he was to the third bend. It's just that if if you come out like Poppy, we'll be laughing.
Yeah. His sister in the race as well in Droopy's Ampia. And
Correct.
they're up against each other. But
Yes.
yeah, no, it's yeah, it's a good race, that one, actually. You know, I know
Yeah.
we speak about it later on, but you know, it's possible Strike at Sky doesn't have all her own way in that one. Um,
Yeah.
and obviously being a wide seed is quite possible you take advantage of it. So yeah, you're not going there as completely out of it, are you? You got to shout there, definitely qualifying. And who was your other runner on the card?
The other one is in the graded. What race is that? That's going to be 911, race 10. Havana Brett,
Vanna Brett.
track one.
June.
He's a Thinks Maverick's son, just a
Yeah,
June 24 pup. He he's already won A1 for us on the, or was it A1 or A2? A2 it was, sorry. He won A2 for us on his second time out round there. Got a bundle of early speed.
yeah.
Um, Nearly won on his comeback again last week, but just sort of just got picked up coming home. But yeah, he's given another chance here to lead, I think, and it's just whether he can hang on.
Expect him to come forward from last week's run.
Definitely, yeah, definitely, yeah. I think there's more in him.
So for the
Um,
punters listening, they'd be worth a tenner Thursday night.
I think he's going to go round in front, and for that, you just take your chance, really.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If track's slow on Thursday, then I wouldn't fancy him so much. But if we've got a fast track, then yeah, quite possibly.
They don't often make the track slow for a Category 1 night, do they? In fairness
Not
to them, they don't.
normally.
I know they've taken 10 off the last couple of weeks, and we actually speak to Jimmy later on, and he tells us he actually thought the gun was probably 20 slow at the beginning of last
Last week.
week. So
Yeah.
so I'd be
Yeah.
amazed if it's slow again. I know we're coming to sort of winter season now, and tracks will start to slow down, but they're pretty good at getting it right on the big nights, Newcastle. So
Yeah.
hopefully then he'll be at smash out and make all job.
That'll
That
be
brings us to the
the
end, Ben. Jimmy, thanks for joining us. You're our first ever guest on the Chasing Greatness podcast. You're gonna talk us through the Jimmy Wright Future Stars Puppy Cup from last Thursday and review the races coming up. I think you got four through to that semi-finals and one in the All England Cup as well. We'll have a chat about him before you go. But first off, we're coming to the end of 2025. How's your year been?
It's been a bit mixed, really. You know, we've had a bit of luck with winning the gym crack to start off the year with, and went on from that and won the 3 Steps of Victory Wiki Ned. Went on to Dundalk International, which ran really well. Just got beat a short head off Cheap Sandwiches. First time on the track. How that's panned out with what Cheap Sandwiches has done from that race, it's a massive run, isn't it? For what he's done. And then went to Shelbourne and just picked up an injury at Shelbourne with him for the Irish Derby. Had no luck there. And we put him in the Stack Stakes and he won the Stack Stakes, and it was exceptional. And then from then we've just had a few niggle injuries with him, brought him back, tried well, and come off with a different problem afterwards. So, from winning the Select Stakes, we've not really raced him since. So, but it's not really major problem for the dog. He's just picked up, like, his last injury was a right wrist tendon, and he just needed 6 weeks off, which to 8 weeks off really, and it put him out of the race. So we'll not bring him back now until the new year, and we'll have a plan for him for next year. But
Yeah,
saying that,
we do.
we've got some nice pups in the kennel, Liam. So for next year, so hopefully we can have a good go at the competitions next year.
Yeah, I think we'll get on to them because I think some of them certainly feature in the Puppy Cup. I think we'd all agree that Wiki Ned was certainly the dog of last year, and we look forward to seeing him again. Have you got any sort of plan what competition we might see him back in? I take it the Derby will be the long term plan for him, but have you got any sort of prep races planned in 2026 leading up to it?
I think we'll probably go to Monmore for the Winter Derby. I think fast track will probably suit him as well. He's never been to Monmore, so early part of the year we'll probably take him to Monmore and give him a few trials on Monmore, and then look to put him in the Winter Derby. That would be the first aim for Wiki Ned next year, and then we'll just go from that competition and see what plans up until Toaster. We'll be hoping to get through the first round. The last twice we've not managed to get through the first round. But it's like one of them things. Maybe it's for third time lucky, as a lot of people say. You never know.
How old is he, Jimmy?
He's in August 22, so he's 4-year-old in August.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he hasn't had a lot of races, Phil. So he hasn't had a lot of racing really. You look at how many races he's had. He hasn't been over raced. We've really just kept him to competitions and he's done really well. He's won. I think he's won 7 competitions now, hasn't he? So
his strike rate's phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's just a very, very good dog, and it's just keeping him right and just keeping him. Once he gets in the swing of things and racing, if he starts, he's a very, very difficult dog to beat. So, but he has the early.
Some of them trials around Sheffield have just been incredible, haven't they? Like some of the trial times that go missed, people don't see him. He just flies around there.
It's a good guide as well, Phil. We're taking to Sheffield, and he goes around and he sees there's a 1565 or 1570. We know the dog's not too far away because we all know that them runs aren't done, throughout the year by the top open sprinters. So it's a good guide for us going to Sheffield, around Sheffield, because we know he loves the track, and we know he's won most of his competitions around Sheffield. But it's a good guide to see where we are with him. You see, but we'll be looking now for next year. Oh, it would be nice to go to Toaster early part of the year for the Blue Ribbon, but looks like that's not going to be on in January now. So, we'll look to go on there first, and that would have been good preparation for the Derby. Later on in May June time when it comes about. So we'll look for the first major competition, and that will be Monmore for the Winter Derby. That's what we'll be looking at.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to know, Jim, and I think the question's probably been asked to you, maybe more at the tracks. You've had some great dogs over the 4 bends. I dare your Brookside Richies and your Ice on Fire. I dare say your best 2 would have been Ice on Fire and Wiki Ned. Where would you compare the 2 to each other? Which would you have right at the top? Which would you have slightly behind? Where would you be with that?
I'll be quite honest with you. I would say that Ice on Fire was a phenomenal dog, and in his early pace that he had, put the races to bed within 40 yards. The race was done really because he had so much pace, and he was just an exceptional ground. And it was just unfortunate what happened. The dog went lame and won't gallop at home. Really think that he was the dog that could have definitely won the English Derby at Nottingham that year. COVID came and just interrupted things, so it was unfortunate. But Wiki Ned in his own right, you've got to look at what he's done, races he's won, dogs he's beat, dogs he's raced against. He's raced against the very, very best and beat, obviously, in the select stakes, beat the English Derby winner. He's met and beat the best, in different competitions, run through the quarterfinals or semi-finals. He's met them, beat them, and he's done really well. And there's not many races that he hasn't won. When he's got to the finals, Liam, it was just really the competition that he was in last year, which was the Eclipse. Didn't get an ideal draw on 5 and just didn't get the run of the race. But
No, he didn't.
Move the boxes and you probably would have won the Eclipse last year, in my opinion. So it's a case that he's a very, very good dog and right, but with the raw pace that Ice on Fire had from boxes to the first bend, I would think he would just shade it at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. The most impressive race I think I see Wiki Ned run was actually probably the race where he done it wrong at the start, and that would have been Sheffield when he came from behind. I think it was Lynx Maverick that he caught, and he done all his running. I thought that day was exceptional. I know you like him to do it right and smash out, and you be at ease from lid rise, but that run that day, that was for me, that was his most impressive. He was sensational.
Yeah, on that day, obviously, we all know that Sheffield Track One's not an ideal draw, even if you are a railer. Sometimes you can just get it wrong. And when he ran in the puppy gym crack race, he drew Track One and made a right mess of it. And he ran really well in that competition. He got beat by the Droopy's dog, which was in the final as well. His name escapes us there at the minute. On the Patrick card. And he made a mess of the start there and finished second. And then
Trade.
well, it wasn't trade. It was the year before.
The year before.
It was the blue dog that Patrick had. I just can't remember his second name there now. But he got it wrong that time. And then when he got in the final of the Steel City Cup against Lynx Maverick, when the boxes opened, I'm always really standing at the boxes to see how they break at Sheffield, and the boxes opened, and I thought, oh, we're in trouble here. The first 40 meters, I'm in trouble, and he just unleashed a turn of pace from the first two bends, and then I thought you're going to meet him at the wrong time here. The third bend at Sheffield, he's going to cut you off, and you're going to get checked back, but he didn't. He got up on the inside, and he just battled his way, and good race between the two of them. And there wasn't very much between them right to the line, but he's Ricky Ned's a dog with a massive heart, and he wants to win. And he got the verdict on the photograph and won the Steel City Cup, and it was a great afternoon, great day. Obviously, win the gym crack, got the bonus prize money as well, an extra £10,000, which what we wanted to do. We wanted to go back and try and win that as well. And we managed to do that, so it was a great achievement for the kennel to do that.
It was brilliant. So away from Wiki Ned, one of your sort of you I suppose you could almost say coming up to four next year now, he'd be sort of getting on for one of your old timers, one of your stalwarts of your kennel. Onto your sort of younger brigade and last Thursday, you had two runners in the first heat of the Jimmy Wright Puppy Cup. Both qualified, Droopy's Anthea and Ballymac Shante. Strike It Sky was the winner. I know Droopy's Anthea is owned by one of your best friends, Mickey. He must have been delighted to be qualified. I've met Mickey, and he's a nice bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, Mickey's my best mate, and the only thing is that he's a Mackem, so he's at the minute he's like on cloud nine. My phone just goes ping, ping, ping all day long, different things. But what goes around comes around, Liam. So we'll take care of that when it comes around on my terms the next time. But yeah, we bought her from the sales at Pilo. She wasn't an expensive bit. She was like £3,800. That's what she was. She wasn't really expensive, but she was the last trial of the day, and she won a trial by 5.5 length. And I quite liked her, and we managed to buy her, and she's turned out to be a real nice pup. And she's it's a good litter as well. There's one or two in the litter, there's one in the semi-finals that on Thursday night, Droopy's Links, a litter comrade. So it is actually a really good litter. But I feel like drawn one, she's a bang wheeler, but she seems to trap better from the 3 box. If you look at her form, she won a little category 3 competition in Newcastle, bombing out, leading all the way. And in a trial stake, she did 28.55, like doing the 4.55 splits, hitting the boxes, getting to the rail, and staying on really strong. So she's very capable. If things fall her way, she's quite capable of definitely qualifying on Thursday night.
Yeah, I see Phil's sort of eyes light up then when you said she's from a good litter, but Phil was straight into the breeding, weren't you, Phil? Was you looking at the litter there, Phil?
No, I was looking at the 4.55 sectional,
Oh,
but the she had a litter mate behind her, didn't she, in the race? So there must have been
Mhm.
3 in it at least.
Mhm.
Was that the sunny side?
Yeah,
The
there was
Moss End
Moss
Lab dog.
and
Oh,
Lab. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He ran at Cork recently against Berlin Tango, and Berlin Tango did the 28-12 run. He
yeah,
ran that race at Cork, so he's obviously just come across from Ireland, and he's just settling into Savas Kennels. So let's just see how that dog improves. But it is a very good litter.
And
There's 3 in the
the
competition.
Sheerans are properly coming through now, aren't they? We had a smattering at the start, but now we're seeing loads of them.
But he's
Have you
really
got any
well bred.
shearings, Charlie? Have you got any shearings?
I don't think so. I wanted to buy the Link dog, um, but Tom got there first. But everything that I've seen from them has been good. They seem to have good early. They chase well, and everyone says it in the kennel. They're really nice dogs as well. So I'll definitely
Yeah,
plan on if something comes up and it's out of Sheeran, it won't be an issue.
no,
I've
definitely
got a
not.
9-month-old litter, and they're the easiest litter. Like, just sensible. They do everything you ask them to do. They're not ragging you. They're not jumping all over. They're not fighting. They're blown us away how sensible they are. And you put them in the field, take them up, and they just run and run and run. They're absolute awesome looking dogs.
Yeah,
But himself, Phil, the King Sheeran dog himself, when he was racing on the British bred races of that era, he was pretty much untouchable, really.
Yeah.
He was a fabulous, fabulous greyhound, and very, very well bred, and one of skate on's probably fastest sons, and she's been a great dam,
mm,
and she seems to them dogs seem to, King Elvis has thrown good pups, and obviously King Sheeran has, so all them dogs seem to breed on as well.
Yeah.
So but he's definitely got 1 or 2 very nice dogs, King Sheeran, and yeah, if I had to use a dog, I'll be definitely interested in using him.
yeah, he's good. And the other one you had qualified, which I think you wanted to sort of clarify a little bit on him, was Ballymac Shantae. Now he ran a fantastic race right up to the third bend and seemed to sort of lose his action a bit coming off the last bend. What's the latest on him? I know you think a lot of him going forward, and you was really impressed with the way he started his career.
Yeah, when he started his career, he come on the scene and doing some really nice trials, and then he won his first race in a maiden race, and then I took him to Nottingham, and he got a bad run at Nottingham, and had to lay him off for a while. And I brought him back to Newcastle, had a open race, and got beat off Ballymac Service, probably drawn wrong in 4, and then we'll put him he went in an A1, a hot A1, and he bolted out into 28:44. Was very, very impressive on the day, and we just thought, well, he's going the right direction, this dog here, so um, I took him back to Nottingham, and whether that's maybe a mistake on my part, and put him in the open on and Eclipse night, and then finished second, but ran a good race from a very good dog, and then we brought him back to Newcastle, and he got a bad run in his trial stake. He got bothered at the first bend and then got pushed wide down the back and got a bad run. But we got him checked out and he seemed fine. And he floated in his seat and going to the third bend, he was going all right. And then Striker Sky just passed him too quick for me. Obviously I know him really well, the dog, and I thought, Striker Sky is really elite quality. But from his split time that we had doing 450, and we had clocked him, we've got a mark down the back of Newcastle where we're clocking about 200 meters, and his split was like 12 on our clocks, 12:36. Well, which is really, really good. So for him to fall apart and get beat 12 length, there had to be something really amiss. And yeah, he's got a pull on one of his back support muscles, so he'll be off until next year. But it's something that we can put right. It's no tear to it, but it's just badly pulled.
Yeah, and I suppose being an April 24 and the promise he's shown, there'd be no point rushing him back for anything, would there? He
No,
looks a really nice pup, and obviously the 28-44 being an April 24 and so young, would you perhaps look at, well, I mean, that's one thing at a time getting back first, but maybe the Monmore Puppy Derby must be a
yeah,
target for him.
that'd be a target for him. Yeah, one more puppy derby. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah. On the winner then to finish that heat, lads. Strike at Sky. She seems to have taken to Newcastle unbelievably well. She probably lacks that yard of early pace, but you can set a clock by her so far. A 461 sectional in her trial and a pair of 460s in the two races she's had round there. She looks right at home, doesn't she?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, a 460 ain't slow, is it? Like she got the comment of slow away. She's
Yeah.
not, is she? And but if you watch that, her pace from the line to the first bend, like she just throws herself into it. And then I tweeted after the race, didn't I? Where like one of them runs down the back that makes your hair stand up, and she's just flown on. I did a couple of comparisons, and like her pace, the way she's picked up and galloped through the line was just incredible, really.
Mm. Did you watch it, Charlie, or was you asleep?
Well, you did drop the message of how incredible it was, so I thought, well, I've got to go and watch this now. I did miss it, and then I went back and watched it, and it was when they're visibly that good to the eye, it's always good to watch. And I actually thought Newcastle would be, it was either going to be great or not great for her, wasn't it? So the fact that
Yeah.
so far she's really looking comfortable there, I think is a positive. Of the whole card, I just thought she was just such a massive standout. She's got loads of pace. Obviously, we've already flagged it up. The only worry with her is could be the early pace situation, but she actually seems to be getting better every time she runs. So
Mm.
she's still actually coming forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how good she actually turns out when it really comes down to it, sort of next year.
That
Yeah.
was sixth fastest run of the year on Newcastle. She did.
Was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And two of those were in the Puppy Derby, I believe, at the start of the year,
Right.
so early February. So to be doing it now is just flying that.
Yeah, I did raise a question in our group chat at work when she trialed. Sort of, it was such a good first trial. I said, "Do we need to have a think about the All England Cup based on the fact that we were doing that?" And Mark said, "Well, he said it's not. It's a fair point. It's a discussion sort of to have." And we did sort of have a brief conversation about it in the kennel, but I think we probably thought we know her quite well. We know she lacks for those top dogs. She does lack a length to the bend. You know, being she's had a few races now, but she's still new to Newcastle. It's a hard track to run. She's going to be in with dogs such as Zenith Tanju, Slingshot Poppy, the experienced dogs. If she gets led up and she gets sort of squashed, if you like, between them, it's not going to do her any good. And so we decided to stick to the original plan, which was the puppy, and she looks like she's far more comfortable there. Jimmy, I don't you see the track every single week. What did you think to the run?
Well, I thought it was an exceptional run. Me, I just thought give the track minus 10, but I thought it was all of minus 20 or more. I thought it was one of them runs that's outstanding run. Um, Obviously she's drawn track one each time that she's been there, so she's getting the rail and she's getting a clear passage without nothing really on her inside that might cause her any bother. At the first bend, doing 461, there's obviously dogs in the competition who can go at the bend with her. And where she's drawn in a semi-final, she's got two of mine on her inside, and then she's got another one of mine on her outside. But Drury's Link in trap 5 as well, so that you've got a lot of dogs doing 460 at the corner.
Mm,
So she's got to get the run of the race there, So, but I feel that even if she got bother, she's still got the quality to qualify, if not win, from getting a bump. So it's like everything else. It's she's high quality. you know, I quite believe it was minus 20 for that run, so it was a 28:05 run, and there's only a handful of dogs that's ever gone running anywhere near that time, Liam. So it was a special run. To the eye, it was a special run. And dogs that you beat that far, they're good pups in their own right.
yeah, yeah, it was very impressive. On to the second heat then, Jimmy. You had one crash out here in Butterbridge Top, so we won't focus on it too much. Sorry to the connections that were in it, but we are a little bit time restricted. But in first was Bouncer Monarch for the Fragiles, Sky the Boss for Brian Fairbairn, and Swift Despite for Roman Hale. It was a bit of a messy affair, but the winner did end up doing it well, and they take their place in the draw next
I,
next
and I
week,
think
this Thursday.
this is a real nice book. A
The
real
winner,
nice book. Yeah, yeah, a
yeah,
real. I don't think he's come away like he can. And Callum and his granddad Dave, like they do some miles and in all the open race scene up north, and they haven't got a big kennel, but they've done. I think they're top 20 in the trainers championship. I think they're
yeah.
sat
Third place.
and they're properly having a go. And I know Callum were in hospital, and his granddad had to come up and do it. And I mean, this dog looks the real deal. That
yeah,
he showed it elsewhere as well. So
yeah. Well, we did definitely have to consider the sprint trial here. I just got his form for Doncaster, 1682. You'll know, Phil, that's no mugs run around
oh
Doncaster,
no,
is it at all?
no, that's flying.
Um,
Yeah.
as a January pup, and his first look at Newcastle, I haven't got maybe all the form here. I don't know if they did take him for a trial, so excuse me if he did. But according to this, the first race was 28.79, and you wouldn't grumble at that. He's gone off 1 to 6 for a reason in his heat, and he's clearly a very very talented dog. And we'll get onto him and the other two qualifiers just in a little bit when we review them. But we will move on swiftly. Again, sorry to the connections that qualified. We are a little bit time restricted. But Heat 3, Jimmy, you had a winner in Pup, who I think is very, very nice. So he's probably the one out of all yours that excites me the most. Yeah, two qualifiers in this race. Ballymac Service back in third. But how good, I mean, if you can say he's only had a couple of races, but how good is the winner, Volta? His header was good at the weekend, but how good is he as a greyhound?
That was below the belt, that Liam, wasn't it? You must been saving that all day, haven't you? So
I won't tell you
so
how many times they've mentioned it on chat.
oh dear me, God. Well, what Mara, he come across from Ireland. He had a trial in June at Tralee in 29.31. Ballymac Minton is like throwing some real good dogs, over the years, and I quite fancied him for a long time. I tried to buy him a few occasions, and the Shane and Liam hung tough on the dog's price, and so I ended up having to bite the bullet and pay the money for him. But I kind of fancied him. I liked him. I gave him his first trial, and he done 17.07, which was a great run because you hadn't ran, for a while, and with Liam and Shane. And then I gave him another trial. He done 16.82, and I thought it was a massive run, like. And I thought, well, what I'll do is I'm going to have who we're going to trial him with, And I thought, well, if he's going to be the dog I think he is, Ballymac Lake's needing his qualifying trials as well. I'll put him against Ballymac Lake in his first 4-bend trial, and he cannoned out, led to the third bend, and Ballymac Lake went on the inside and beat him, 4 length and 28.58. So it was and I just thought, well, this dog's got 28.15 now. It's called Shelbourne, this dog here. For a puppy, having his first 5.25 since June, it's a real good run. And then I put him in against another one, which was a dog called Zenith McMacher, and a 28.37, won a couple of rounds of the juvenile at Shelbourne, and led him traps to line and beat him 6 length in 28.74. And again, I thought it was a slow track, but give it normal going. And then obviously on his first race, first time in the lights, and he won really well in 28.56. And I just thought it was any young dog starting off his career and have debuting in 28.56. It's a really special run.
Yeah, definitely. He looks the part, and I think I may have mentioned on the show a couple of weeks ago. I genuinely believe that if you get a good wide runner, it's worth its weight in gold. I mean, Charlie, you'll know with Churchfield Sid and now with Texas Jack, if you get a good wide dog, you've got no worries about getting your draw more often than not.
Especially
And
with early pace as well.
yeah, and I really really like this pup. I think he's very very good, and I don't I mean, I don't think he's going to have any problems as he grows and matures getting 500 meters, Jimmy. Do you?
No, watching him, watching the dogs he's running against, I feel that he's going to mature into staying 500 meters. No, I think he's a very, very nice pup. And he done 28:44 the other night in his second race of his life. We're not talking about a dog that's had, 18 races. We're talking about dogs that had 2 races. So what's he going to hope to improve with them? From now until, we would obviously there's a puppy derby at Newcastle in February, and then the Monmore Puppy Derby, and then because he's in May, he's probably eligible to go on the Gym Crack as well.
Yeah.
We've been lucky enough to win the Gym Crack 2 years running, and maybe we've got a dog here that we can keep him right. That he could be a dog that could, run well at Sheffield, long run to Bend. One thing about him, he's got fantastic early pace, and we all know that's what you all look for when you're looking for a real top dog is the early pace to get away and get clear. And if he can stay as well, you've got the perfect ground, you would say. Now, I just feel this dog he has early pace tools. At the moment, we've got to find out whether he'll definitely stay strong over the distance, but I would like to think in time that he can.
Yeah,
I thought the other night he stayed it strong enough, didn't he? And
I thought he was impressive.
he showed blistering early. I mean, I know the clock's fast, but to the eye, it just looked sensational. And it didn't seem to be slowing to me at all. I thought he's run a blinder. And is the Zenith Mick Macker, is that his little brother?
No, he's out of he's an August 23 pup.
Yeah.
Him. He's an August 23 pup. There's a couple of little brothers, Phil, that's in England. There's one winning open at Oxford called Ballymac Drasher.
Yeah.
He won on I think a Saturday or Sunday at Oxford. And Ted Sopper's got a brother called Ballymac Buddy.
Okay.
And he clocked the Votamata dog. He trialed against him as a puppy and beat him 3 lengths in his first trial. But he went on from there. He got sold and he went to Thurles and he did a blistering sprint at Thurles 1780 from Thurles. And then he's come across Newcastle and Ted's just busy qualifying that dog now. And he's done a very fast 16:89 in his first trial. Then done 17:07, I think it was, in his next trial. So, but he's another very, very good puppy. Looks quite impressive.
Yeah, they look nice, don't they? Phil, I don't know if I mean, I know you follow Liam's breed and you even follow when he trials. But Ballymac Finn as a stud dog, have you any opinion on him yet, or too early days? Too early days to really have any kind of opinion.
Too early at the minute. The first few letters that have hit in the ground look decent though, and I mean Liam always he wants them to shine, doesn't he? So he's going to put them to his top broods to start off with. So you're going to get those come through. But the question with him was, are they going to stay? Now, like Jimmy said earlier about the skate on throwing through, the fin line, that's thrown all the way through going back. So you'd expect him to do it. It was just down to stamina. And given her last litter, that was so long ago and that lot, weren't it? So it'd be interesting to see. But at the minute, they certainly look like they're staying. So he's one to watch. That is for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And Solo Ago is a dog I like a lot. He's got a lot of early pace. I don't think he's a derby dog, if I'm being honest. I think it stretches him too much. But as a race dog, tracks that would suit him, he is a very, very good greyhound. He had in the race, Jimmy, was Ballymac's Service. Now, slightly different to Voltamade and perhaps some of the other dogs we've mentioned. He came through the graded ranks a little bit. Started off in an A3 and he's progressed nicely, and he's more of a strong running dog, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Ballymac Bulger dog, and he's definitely a strong running dog. Had a good start of his career, really. Starting off in a A3 and in one A3 went to A2, A1, and then won a nice little a great competition. Went on, won a puppy open, and he's a good dog, and he knows how to win. He's one of these dogs that knows how to win. So we think he'll develop into a nice 500 meter dog, really. maybe Nottingham Sheffield dog. He'd be ideal for when he turns 2-year-old. If he's good enough to go for them races and them opens on a Monday or a Sunday at the respective tracks. But I like
Yeah,
him. He's a nice dog in the kennel. I've got another brother to his in the kennel, which is a Brunson Bubble, which is another semi-final. Um,
yeah,
yeah, he's a big dog. He's a little brother. But no, I think Service is a dog that can be in that heat. He has a good chance to qualify.
yeah, yeah. Good. And with his strong running style, I'd say he's got every chance. You mentioned Bronson Bubble. Then let's move on to the next heat. A Carol Weatherall winner in this one. Back to your best. A free length winner in 28.84 too. Droopy's Link, who we mentioned earlier on. Jimmy had the favourite in Bronson Bubble. He was slowly away and got a bit crowded off that second bend. But again, only an April puppy. And he's a massive 40-kilo dog, isn't he? He will come forward, you'd think, as he matures. Where does his
Mm.
future lie? Does he look a six-bend dog in waiting, or do you think he'll be a strong running four-bend dog?
Um, Obviously, so big, you don't know where he's going to finish up with. But no, in his heat, he did a lot of running from where he was at the first bend. To finish third, and then was really flying home at the pickup. So you would think, see how he develops, and obviously when he gets to April May time, we'll see how he's performing over the 500 meters, and if he wants further, it could be a chance that we could put him over further. But the precise time, he's just really, because of his sheer size, he hasn't properly developed yet. But one thing about him, he has a nice turn of pace, and you look through his form, he's got a 28.64 there on his card, which is like for that size of dog to do that kind of run at this stage is another very impressive run. So but he's in the heat with Strike the Sky, isn't he? And
Yeah.
if you watch how he runs, if he comes away, he'll do a 60 split and he'll dive in at the first bend. So they may, and if they're all, like I'm saying, they're all going to go to the bend together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the sixth is a 460 cutting in at the first bend. So there's not going to be a lot of room in the race.
He might
Obviously
be
the
able to
fast.
cut in. She might be able to go underneath him.
Well,
Between his legs.
I don't know about that, but it's a race where it's all about getting the right run at the first bend. You don't want to be in trouble at the first bend. You want to be getting around the first bend, and it's just a Striker Skies. Like we've said previously, she's an elite bitch, one of the fastest bitches that's ever been around Newcastle. But this time she's off the rail. This time she hasn't got the benefit of having the clear run on the inside with nothing on the inside of her, and that's the only downfall that she might have. That she doesn't make the bend, and there is trouble on the inside. That she may get some trouble. But even so, she's still good enough to win or qualify from that position as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The winner then, back to your best. Carol Weatherall, good form on his card. The winning time, I say only. I say only. Um, 28.84. You'd probably expect him to improve on that. Darren and Carol, they wouldn't enter the dog unless they thought very highly of him. So he'd be an impressive winner and one to watch in the next round. And Droopy's, I think, a local dog really for Tom Hilbron. Again, being a wide, he'll have his draw in the next round. So let's move on then to the heats for Thursday or tomorrow, as it is now if you're watching on the Wednesday when we've released this. Let me get them up on mine. Semi-final one then. How do we see this one going? Phil, you've already mentioned that you like the dog in two. Um, Bouncing Monarch. Back to your best again, another heat winner for Carol Weatherall, and then Jimmy's Voltamade in 6. Phil, have you looked at the race?
Yeah,
You
and the
have. Where did you like?
two first ones that you've mentioned there, I've picked out the Bouncing Monarch and the Walter Marday dog.
Yeah,
I think the Walter Marday dog's going to get the run. He's got vacant trap inside him. If he comes away like he did the other day, I think he'll take some catching. I think it's between those two, if I'm completely honest, and it depends how Bouncing Monarch comes away. If you can catch him running, we'll find out how he stays. But for me, I'm going to go with Jimmy's dog, the Walter Marday. That was mightily impressive. He's a young dog, plenty of improvement. He's going to have all the room, and if he comes away like he did the other day, he's going to get a clear round. And I can't see anything picking him up really. So yeah, I'm with him.
Charlie, have you had a look?
I'm going to be honest with you, right?
He hasn't, has he? Look at
No, no,
this,
no,
he
no, no, no,
hasn't.
no. This is my opinion on the whole thing. Is that I think Jimmy's going to beat you altogether. I think Walter Mild, or however I spell it, however you say it. I only saw him banging that beautiful header, obviously, that we spoke about, and it was so impressive that it made me go and watch the dog again. And I actually think he'll win the whole thing. Genuinely,
You
I'm not
do?
even, yeah, no, 100%.
No,
I just think he's got
I
so
can see
much
where
early. I think I could genuinely see a situation where he is so far clear of your bitch and that she'll run and find trouble, blah, 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 and he'll win. Because it's going to be very hard to pick up a dog like him who's got the early and the middle and can still do the 28-40, and he'll probably knock more off of that, probably down to 28-30. So that's just my 2 pence on that.
is he then? Sorry, Jim, we will get to you on the race. He's 4-1 anti-post. Um, he looks, in my opinion, I think he wins the semi-final quite comfortably. He's not going to go off 4-1 in the final, is he? So on that, would you
No,
would you would you take the 4-1 now?
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Jimmy, how do you see a semi-final going?
How I see it going is obviously the Bronson dogs in two, Patchy Best in three, the Crafty Rialto in four. You know, I just feel that the Bouncing Monarch dogs is one of these dogs that you don't really want on your outside. You know, it goes to the bend and just steps a little bit off at the bend and then reels. So if you're on your outside, you and watch a lot of the races when the dog runs. That's what he seems to do. He seems to be one of these that just puts the shoulder in and goes around the bend. So if you're on the outside of him, you've got to either lead him or you've got to like just follow him around, you know. But Walter Mardy, it's in his hands in the race. I think if he breaks like he can do, and shows the early, he should be a length clear going in the bend, you know. So if he does that, well, he'll have every chance to win or qualify. You know, we'll see. But he is a dog that, you know, so far he's shown that early pace in all his runs. So I'll be
Yeah,
looking for him to break well from six, and then you know just let the race unfold. I suppose you know Bouncing Monarch. I think he was a finalist in the Nottingham Puppy Classic. And I think he was a finalist in the Classic at Sunderland. So you're
yeah,
talking about a dog
it
that's
was.
reached two group one finals before he's 2 year old. So you have to respect that type of dog and pup. So he's a very, very good dog in his own right. So Walter Mardy will have to do everything right on the night to qualify or win.
Yeah, final at Nottingham and the final at Sheffield he made, and he was got to the semi-finals at Sunderland. You were right to mention Crafty Regalo. I thought he ran very well at Sunderland when he won finals night there, and he by Cocky or Confident, which is Crafty Kokoro's mother. So he's a nicely bred type. By Grandview 10, so you probably expect his future to be over a bit further. Sky the Boss, give him a mention. So we've covered them all. One race, second on debut at Newcastle. You can't grumble at that.
Yeah,
Newcastle's a hard track.
yeah, run well on his debut race. You know,
Yeah,
he's like everyone else. He's got a scope for improvement, hasn't he? So
he
you know,
has.
but it's
Yeah,
like everyone else. He's hit a semi final with some dogs with good open race winning form so far. So
yeah,
he's got to show what he's made of in that semi final, isn't he?
yeah. It looks quite a tough race to try and find your feet in. But I think we're all in agreement that Volta is our selection in the race. On to the final semi-final then, the first three qualify from the two semis. Jimmy, you've got four in here. I have Strike It Sky. If you had to sort of nail your best chance in this race, Jimmy, where would it be? Who would you say was if they said to you, you win this race, Jimmy, which dog would you expect it to be with?
I'll probably say the bitch and trap one. If she got a flying start, and she's like Bouncing Monarch. She'll rail no problem, but when it comes to the bend, she'll make that little step out and then go in. So she's one of them that can do exactly the same. But there again, if she flashes out and does a 455 down, she could be by herself going in the first bend. That
Yeah.
could be the case. So and then one thing about her, she stays well enough and she rails very, very well. But at the same time, she's against Striker Sky, she's beaten nearly 10 length in that race. So you've got to be realistic and you've got to like look at the race. And if Striker Sky gets a clear run in the first two bends, she's going to take one hell of a holding. And that's what I think. I think if she makes it, through this semi final, which she's got every chance to, she's going to be very, very hard to beat in the final. We've got to get there with our other ones, but ground racing's very, very funny, as we all know. You can expect what you want to expect, but it doesn't always happen that way. But I feel that if she gets a clear run straight at Sky, she'll be the winner of the race. What do I think will qualify behind her? I'll be hopeful for Druid Anthea, Ballymac Service, and the big dog if he can, all my three that's in that race. Any one of the three to qualify for a final would be fantastic. Good for the owners. All different owners, aren't they? So
Yeah. And the owner of the Ford dog, he's new, isn't he? That's his first dog he's ever owned. So that'd be nice for him to make a final.
I tell you about Kevin Mallet. He's a local businessman who runs Blade and Bathrooms. He's never had a ground before, and he was sitting reading the local Evening Chronicle, and there was an article about Wiki Ned in the local Newcastle paper, and he read about it and he watched a few videos on YouTube, and then he contacted me daughter through Facebook, and ended up buying it, saying, "Can you buy us a pup that I can run at Newcastle?" And so I bought this. He was actually called Ballymac Casady. We changed his name, and he's done really well for him. His first ever dog to get to he's only very young and he's done 28.64 and won a few races leading up to this competition. So he's really happy and he's very excited.
Good. How good is that? We love to hear.
Shows if you market the sport, isn't it?
I know it's almost unbelievable, isn't it? I'm so happy for him. I really, really hope he finishes second.
I can't see how you get a run, Liam. I can't. I've looked at it so many times, and she's the fastest dog in the race. You want to see her go through because you want to see the fastest dogs go through. She's an absolute superstar. I agree that you went for right competition. I just think off the rails. And I mean, I hate this first bend anyway, but I think Jim is right. I think he's bitching one. If she does that 450, what does she do? 455. She goes anywhere near to that. I can't see Sky clearing the two myself. And
you'd be better off taking a slower way, and then there'd be in a split at the corner and tucking in.
Yeah, I think that's I think if she can just trap behind them and just get position behind them, she's going to be traveling so fast down the home straight that she can win no problem. It's just the first bend in Newcastle. Yeah, it's a tight first bend. You've got to be around it a good few times, and I guess. But when you've got all them dogs going at the bend at the same kind of split time, you've got like a 40-kilo dog on your outside, and you've got a 35-kilo dog on the inside. You've got to get the run. Now, nobody's disputing that she can't, because she probably can. If she wants to say that from trap 3, it's a trap box for her, and she pings out and she does a 450. She could do that. We've clocked her to 200 where we would clock them as well, and she's doing about 1250. Where you've got, say, like Voltamardi doing 1236. Some of the other ones are that just that little bit quicker than her. So from 200, she's doing unbelievable time from 200, mind. So it's a case that, that you're looking at it, she has to get the run early doors against, if she gets through this next round,
Yeah.
You would think that, other dogs that's going to be in the final, could be Walter Mardy, it could be Bouncing Morak, it could be some of the other ones that have got a little bit more early pace, than she has. So but that's what makes ground racing though. It's intriguing what can happen, and then you watch it unfold and you think, well, there's nothing to worry about. She's bombed out and she's let all the way, and she might do 28 dead about next time.
And the two on the outside, you'd worry a little bit about Tom's. He's going to go up 462, 464s, isn't he? So he's going to be in line with him a little bit.
Get involved early for certain.
He has, Phil, but you also look further down the line. He, in his form, he done a 28.46 at Newcastle. So he's done 28.46 already.
He's a big dog as well, isn't he? So he's going to come on a bit. Lost it.
Yeah.
And then the Swift dog, is he going to pace up? But then he must be flying on that to have 28.91 on.
Yeah, he's obviously going to be a strong finisher, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I mean, he probably looks again a little bit like we mentioned with Brian's dog. He did manage to win an A3. This probably looks better than an A3. In fairness, he's probably got it all to do in a race like this. I personally think that Sky. I actually don't mind the race too much. I could understand if she was led up by Droopy Zamfia, but I'd have no problem tucking in behind her either. And the way she's been tracking at Newcastle so consistently, if she goes up in 460, I'm actually happy. I'm okay. I think she's taken to Newcastle. I think she's getting better every time. Well, I'm sure you agree, Jimmy. The more you run Newcastle, the better you get, and she certainly looked like that last week. So I'm happy enough. She is my selection in the race. Phil, you mentioned you don't see how we get a run. So who would you be with as the winner of the race?
I'm with the one. I think Jimmy's. But if that pops out, I think it's going to go a dream run. I really do.
Charlie, have you seen the race? No.
I agree with Phil.
Yeah.
And Jimmy.
No, I feel that. I just think that these three dogs I've got on this one are really good dogs. The 28.50s and 28.60s. But the Bitch and Trap 3 is just elite greyhound. She's elite bitch.
Agree.
And sometimes, even if they do make a mistake, they're still good enough to come and win.
Yeah.
And I feel that if she just gets any kind of run, she'll come and win the race. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Right then, that brings us to the end of those semi-finals. We've been through the Puppy Cup. Jimmy, I know you was keen to talk about the runner that you qualified. Perhaps the All England Cup didn't quite go as you'd hoped throughout the night, but you did manage to get Ballymac Lake through. You've not had him very long. What do you think to his chances on Thursday, and how's he settled? Because he probably hasn't shown his Shelbourne Park form yet, but as we spoke about the Ballymac Pete Litter last week and sort of agreed they're very fast. What is he? What do you see him as a greyhound? Is he an early pace greyhound? Is he a strong finisher? Is he a little bit all round? Where do you see the dog going with you?
Me, I honestly believe that when I watched him run in Shelbourne and when I seen these races, I always thought you'd make into a staying dog. Very similar, to the Ballymac lineout dog I had last year, where he was, running Newcastle and breaking the track record. I had him down in them kind of lines of a dog. Could win over 480, could win over 500. But when I stepped him up to 640, I thought that he would excel. Obviously, his race at Shelbourne when he done 28.15 was a good run. But I quite liked the run at Cork when he started off his career. I think he got beaten 28.23, but he flew home and showed a load of pace. and he's run against good company all his time that he's been in Ireland. And he's a dog that when he came across, he didn't quite settle. He was barking quite a bit in the kennels and didn't really settle. And a lot of the dogs I have here, I have them all in single kennels, and I don't have them kennel with bitches. I've just got them by themselves. And I had to put them in with a bitch. I had to put them in with a bitch in the kennel and put him in with a bitch, and it's took time, but he's settled with her, and he's not barking now, and he's settled himself down. He's a very, very nice dog, a lovely dog. But I think there's a big run on him. He's done 28.58 when his final qualifying trial, and then he done like a 28.58 again when he won his trail stake. I feel that and to be fair, I thought he would do 28.40 in his heat. I thought if he come away well enough and got a clear run, you would find that bit extra time again. And the race was a bit puzzling, really. He done 28.90. Come off seemed all right. There's a little bit of a bug going around at Newcastle at the minute, dog. So whether that was underlying on him in the first round, because some of my dogs really didn't perform last Thursday like they should have. Like so the Tangier dog and obviously Elusive No More. So maybe that's been the case, but he seems fine this week, and we'll look forward to the semi-final. It's a good semi-final. The bitch and trap one, Emma, the Crooked Coco. She was finalist in All Ireland Cup last year. Druish Bookham. We're trying a very eye-catching race from the third bend to win its heat. Balmac Sargi, who beat us in last Thursday night. So it's a quite a good heat in Northern Flat winner, Knockria in 5, and the bitch which knows the track inside out, Blackhouse came in a favourite trap in trap 6, which does 28 40s and 50s all the time. So it's a very, very good race, but I feel that if he come away well enough, and if he could just lead the 3 and the 4 up, the 5's got to get across from a position. He's in 5. He's got to get across from there. It's not always easy when you're trying to get across all them dogs at the first bend. So if he comes away well, he may be in the right position at the first bend.
Yeah.
To get first run on Druish Bookham and Balmac Sargi. But that's me reading the race for him. I mean, people might look at it and say, well, I don't think that'll happen. But for him to qualify in the race, he's got to trap well, get the position, lead Druish Bookham, and lead Balmac Sargi at the first bend and get first run on them.
Yeah.
It's interesting what you say about the bug. Like last week's run puzzled me a bit because he seemed to be moving well, but he seemed to go again. I thought he was moving really nice down the back, and then just seemed to go get headed, come again. But this race would be really interesting because, like you say, there's a couple that look like they're going to bang out. He should get a bit of room, be able to open up properly, and then it's whether the 2 coming from behind him catch him. So it'd be interesting.
That's definitely interesting. But he's but no, I'm happy with the week's gone so far with him. Everything's going great. The dog's happy, and everything's good with him. So I'm looking forward to the race. As I say, when he done his 28.50 run in his trial stake, I fully expected him to step forward again. And then that run last week just kind of made you think it was puzzling run, Phil.
Yeah.
Really puzzling. So, but there wasn't just one dog in the night that ran like down the performance then that did the week beforehand. There was 2 or 3. You would say the Copper Sapphire bitch, which has been running fantastic. She was in that race, 29 dead. She did. Been doing 28.50s. Obviously him. The Senate Tangier dog is another one, which is 28.27. And then just he got badly bogged at the first bend, but he lives on that start and that early pace. And kind of I thought he'd lead the 2 on the inside, and he didn't make the bend and got bother.
Yeah.
And that put him out the race.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there'll be another day for him, and I see he's on the card for Thursday as well, isn't he? So hopefully we'll see. He needs no introduction, does he? He's class throughout. It's just going to be Pete that over here, and he has in some races already. It'll just be a case of putting it all together a lot more consistently with him. But I'm sure he's capable, and hopefully Mac Lake can just qualify and make the final because he's a very fast dog
Yeah,
and
that'd be
he's
lovely.
proved that. So that would be good. Jimmy, thank you very much for joining us. I will be there obviously Thursday because I'll be joining you in the north tomorrow.
He'll be napping somewhere. Find him upstairs.
On the train.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'll be napping. Right, lovely. Jimmy, thank you very much.
Okay, Liam, and good luck, Phil, and good luck, Charlie.
Thanks, Jimmy.
That
Good luck,
wraps
mate.
it up. Episode 4 of the Chasing Greatness podcast, the Newcastle special. I think we'll call this one. There's that's what
With
we
a little bit of disco thrown in at the
with a
start.
little bit of disco thrown in. Who could forget? Who could forget? Eh? On that note, Phil, it was a pleasure. Charlie, who's editing this right now, it was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in episode 5 in just a few days' time, where we'll review all the recent big race action. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.